Now on to one of our other big stories. The king of pop has died.
It's one of the modern age's biggest whodunits. A global icon, millions of dollars in contracts, a stash of Beatles songs worth more than some country's GDP, a burnt scalp, and a doctor with a surgical sedative. Michael Jackson died of cardiac arrest.
Michael Jackson, the pop music and dance innovator, passed away yesterday. Jackson appeared to have suffered from cardiac arrest. He was 50 years old.
Case closed, right? Yet the whispers never went away. Did the king of pop die because of his own insomnia? Or did the music industry's power brokers have a hand in it?
And I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it, but I just did good business, you know? And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
And if the story doesn't add up, did Michael simply walk away? Let's unpack this mystery together.
Ah mais y'a Michael Jackson!
Non, il est mort lui.
The night everything stopped. On June 25th, 2009, paramedics were called to Michael Jackson's rented mansion in Holmby Hills.
Fire paramedic 33, what is your address of emergency?
Yes, sir. I need an ambulance as soon as possible, sir.
He wasn't breathing.
Sir, we have a gentleman here that needs help, and he's not breathing yet. He's not breathing, and we're trying to pump him, but he's not.
Despite prolonged attempts at CPR,
No, he's not responding to CPR or anything, sir.
he was pronounced dead at 2:26 p.m. from cardiac arrest caused by an overdose of propofol and benzodiazepines. The sedatives were supplied by his personal physician, Dr. Conrad Murray. Murray later admitted to giving Jackson propofol, a powerful anesthetic normally used for surgery, to treat Jackson's chronic insomnia. A jury convicted him of involuntary manslaughter, and he served roughly 2 years of a 4-year sentence. So ends the official story. But from the moment news broke, websites crashed and rumors exploded. The shock of his death and the speed with which the case was legally wrapped up helped conspiracies flourish. Public reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Fans worldwide held mass vigils, with spontaneous gatherings erupting outside iconic venues like the Apollo Theater in Harlem, where Jackson had once performed. Streets filled with mourners lighting candles and singing his songs. The global media coverage was intense, with 24-hour news channels and newspapers dedicating extensive airtime and pages to the king of pop's life and mysterious death.
Michael Jackson collapsed in his home in West Los Angeles this morning.
911 operators took a call in regards to a need for a medical emergency.
This is so shocking. I mean, even for you and I, we've been covering this since news first broke that he was taken to the hospital. It's really hard to wrap your brain around this.
This was extremely sad news, not altogether shocking, given the way Michael Jackson looked in the last few years.
CNN can now confirm from the LA coroner that Michael Jackson is dead.
The scale of public grief underscored Jackson's unparalleled influence and the deep emotional connection people felt with him, the machine, and the man. Jackson's battles with his record label set the stage for suspicion. In the early 2000s, he fell out spectacularly with Sony Music. In July 2002, he appeared at Al Sharpton's National Action Network in Harlem and called Sony Music chairman Tommy Mottola a racist and very, very, very devilish.
Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola, the president of the record division. He is a mean, he's a racist, and he's very, very, very devilish.
He accused the label of exploiting black artists and claimed the company had suppressed his album Invincible. Sony fired back, calling the accusations ludicrous and hurtful, and refused to renew his contract. Jackson believed the label had hidden clauses delaying his ownership of his master recordings and felt trapped by what he called slave contracts. In other words, he was publicly challenging the executives who controlled much of his fortune. But Jackson's disputes with record companies went deeper and further back. Throughout his career, he fought for greater independence and control over his music. He was one of the first major artists to push for ownership of his master recordings and publishing rights, a fight that raised awareness about artist rights in an industry notorious for exploitative contracts. His acquisition of valuable catalogs and his vocal criticism of record labels made him a pioneer in artist empowerment. These battles made powerful enemies and positioned Jackson as both a music industry titan and a disruptive force. Why does this matter? Conspiracy theorists would later point to this feud as motive. A billionaire star with the power to embarrass his label or take his catalog elsewhere becomes a liability. Skeptics argue that these were business squabbles, not murder plots. Yet the animosity was very real. Fire and pharmaceuticals. The seeds of Jackson's medical spiral were sown decades earlier. During a Pepsi commercial shoot on January 27, 1984, pyrotechnics misfired and set his hair ablaze. He suffered second-degree burns to his scalp and head, and later underwent multiple surgeries to hide scarring. Reports at the time noted that the prolonged pain contributed to a dependency on prescription painkillers. The incident was widely covered in the media, with footage of the accident broadcast repeatedly and generating widespread sympathy. Jackson later reached a settlement with PepsiCo, reportedly receiving a multi-million-dollar payout. This traumatic event not only physically scarred him, but also marked the beginning of his complex relationship with pain management and pharmaceuticals. The pain and anxiety from the burns contributed to his later dependency on sedatives and painkillers, a struggle that would shadow much of his adult life. Fast forward 25 years. To battle chronic insomnia, he turned to a cocktail of sedatives. He nicknamed propofol milk because of its white color. The drug is an anesthetic intended for surgery and causes low blood pressure and pauses in breathing. The morning he died, he had also taken lorazepam and midazolam. The official explanation is straightforward: a dangerous drug mix, poor monitoring, and a fatigued 50-year-old heart. Money, catalogs, and enemies. Jackson wasn't just a singer, he was a shrewd mogul. In August 1985, he purchased the publishing rights to most of the Beatles' catalog, about 251 songs, for $47 million, outbidding Paul McCartney. In 1995, he sold 50% of the company to Sony for $95 million, creating Sony ATV. After his death, Sony bought out the Jackson estate's remaining share for $750 million. Owning this catalog meant Jackson controlled a revenue stream worth billions. Music publishing is one of the most powerful and lucrative revenue sources in the music industry, often generating income long after songs are released through royalties, licensing, and synchronization deals. The Beatles' catalog was especially valuable due to the enduring popularity and cultural significance of their music worldwide. Jackson's ownership shifted the dynamics of the industry, giving him unprecedented control and leverage. This move also altered relationships between artists, publishers, and record labels, influencing how music rights were viewed and managed. To fans who distrust corporate motives, this is a smoking gun, a valuable asset that powerful entities wanted back. In LaToya Jackson's memoir, she recounted her brother telling her he would be killed for his music catalog, a claim repeated in several interviews, but never substantiated.
Michael told me that they were going to murder him.
The official verdict versus the rumors. The Los Angeles County coroner ruled Jackson's death a homicide due to acute propofol intoxication. The criminal case targeted one man, Dr. Murray, and ended with his conviction. The Jackson family pursued a civil suit against concert promoter AEG Live, alleging it negligently hired Murray. The jury found the company not liable. Murray's trial was highly publicized, with detailed evidence presented about his medical negligence, including testimony about the unsafe administration of propofol in a home setting without adequate monitoring equipment. The prosecution argued that Murray's carelessness directly led to Jackson's death, while the defense claimed that Jackson himself was responsible for his drug use. Public skepticism remained high, with some questioning whether Murray was a scapegoat protecting larger interests. The case highlighted broader legal and ethical issues surrounding celebrity healthcare and the responsibilities of personal physicians. Yet his daughter Paris Jackson told Rolling Stone in 2017 that she believed her father was murdered. She said he would drop hints about people being out to get him and claimed, "They're gonna kill me one day." Jackson himself once said, "They're trying to kill me," without specifying who. Was this paranoia from a man harried by lawsuits and scandals, or foreknowledge of a plot. The only evidence is anecdotal. Theory 1. The silencing. Let's note that Murray's 4-year sentence seems lenient for causing a global superstar's death, and wonder if he was a fall guy. This theory echoes similar conspiracy narratives surrounding other celebrities like Tupac Shakur and Whitney Houston, where fans and theorists speculate that powerful industry figures orchestrated their deaths to protect financial interests. Such beliefs often stem from distrust of the entertainment industry's opaque dealings and the seeming improbability of losing such iconic figures to accidents or negligence. The idea that the music industry could silence dissenting voices or reclaim valuable assets through covert means resonates with those suspicious of corporate power. Theory 2. The vanishing. The death hoax theory posits that Jackson faked his death to escape debts, scrutiny, and the relentless spotlight. Fans note his skill with disguises and point to a hospital video in which a severely burned man, later identified as an unrelated burn victim, supposedly looks like Jackson. They share grainy photos of supposed sightings in various locations around the world, from remote towns to airports, fueling speculation he is living incognito.
The visit to his Encino house was very impromptu, and it was kept a secret by my mother.
Psychologists note that death denial rumors often follow celebrity deaths. Jackson's name appears alongside Elvis Presley, Tupac Shakur, and Prince among notable cases. With global icons, many fans simply refuse to accept that their hero is gone. Why do these conspiracies persist? Because Jackson's life was larger than life. He was a black artist who fought for ownership in a system stacked against him. He amassed a catalog worth billions and publicly accused powerful executives of racism. He sustained a traumatic injury that altered his appearance and introduced him to painkillers. He trusted a sleep doctor who violated medical standards and left him alone on a hospital anesthetic. Such a cocktail of business intrigue and medical negligence invites speculation. But speculation is not proof. Every verifiable piece of evidence points to a tragic overdose by a negligent physician. Courts, coroners, and independent journalists all concur. If a shadowy cabal silenced him, they left no paper trail, no whistleblowers, and no credible forensic anomalies. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and the conspiracy theories, however entertaining, have yet to supply it. Was Michael Jackson a victim of the very industry he conquered? Or did his own struggles with pain, sleep, and trust lead to his demise? Could he have orchestrated a grand escape? The official record says no, but the rumors endure because they speak to deeper anxieties about power, exploitation, and the cost of fame. Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please like and subscribe for more investigations into the stories behind the headlines.